Welcome to another episode of Komin. Today we're going to be turning all of this into a nice creamy bacon and mushroom pasta. Now we're going to start by slicing up our mushrooms. I like to take the stems out because these sometimes turn a little bit bitter, and it also makes it easier to cut them. Now we want to be cutting these into maybe about 2 or 3 millimeter slices. You really don't want to have too much of a bite because you're already going to get that from the bacon we're going to add. Now these are just normal button mushrooms, but we'll also be using some special ones right here. Now for these it's the same story with the stems, but you only want to cut them off if they're too long, but I'll show you that right here. As you can see, it's a bit of a long stem. You can even feel it's a little bit tough, so let's just cut that off and throw it away. Now once you've cut all these up, it's time to take 2 cloves of garlic, cut off the butts, press them, peel them, and then slice them up as thin as you can. Now if you're not that good with knives, you can always choose to use a garlic press, but I prefer mincing them using a knife. So we'll just cut these into nice little slices. About this thick should do it, but we'll just run the knife through it once more to make sure that they're all nice and thin and minced up. Next, we'll get a pan on medium heat. We're going to add in our bacon. Once again, I'm using cast iron skillets. If you don't have those, that's fine. Any non-stick pan will do. Now we'll salt up some water. 10 grams for every liter of water. And here you'll see me draining the bacon fat into the pan which we'll be using to cook up our mushrooms. That's going to add a lot of flavor. So let's get a pan on medium heat and warm up that grease. Make sure to shake, stir around your bacon bits in between. Now here we've added all the mushrooms to the pan. Toss them around a little bit, get them all covered in the grease, and crack some fresh black pepper over it. Add our garlic. Toss it around again. As you can see, these have shrunk nicely already. We'll just want to leave that on there for maybe about 5 minutes while you cook the bacon. And that's about done. We'll take that out of the pan and put it in a kitchen roll covered bowl on the side to absorb some of that grease and make sure those bacon bits come out extra crispy. In the meantime, our water is done boiling, so we'll add our pasta and we'll cook that according to the instructions on the package, as well as adding 500 milliliters of cream to our mushrooms. Here I have about 70 grams of grated Parmesan cheese, which I'm also adding into the sauce. And we'll stir that all in until it's nice and melted. Here I'll go in for a taste. Now you always want to make sure you're tasting your dishes while you're cooking. So right here I noticed it needs a little bit more salt. I don't make it too salty because those bacon bits are also going to add some salty flavor. So I'm tasting again after stirring. That's good. Now you'll see it froth up a little bit. That's fine. Here we're moving to cutting up some fresh basil leaves. Now I like to stack them on top of each other and roll them up into a bunch and cut them up. Now I'll show you why. As you can see, it's all cut up. All the juices, where all the flavor is still in the basil and not in your cutting board. Now we'll take 1 or 2 spoonfuls of the fluid that we've cooked the pasta in and add that to the sauce to make it bind nicely together later. Now introduce all your pasta into the sauce after it's drained. Give that another stir. Then for the bacon bits. Now we're about ready to plate. So I like to use a bowl because this is pretty saucy pasta. Now once you reheat it, you'll notice it becomes thicker. So you might be able to eat it from a plate instead. Let's top that off with some fresh basil and a little bit more grated Parmesan. That's really it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.